let's get into the moment everybody is waiting for. We are going to do the schedule breakdown. I'm going to go mine, then I'm gonna go to Bang, I'm gonna go to Mike, and then we'll round out with Dante. So give me the ISO screen. There we go. So
ISO, ISO.
ISO. This is what we're gonna do. So I got them going 11-6. Before actually going step by step on this, I was like, I'm about to put the schedule in the chat a couple days ago, and Bang was like, 13-4, nigga. And I'm like, I don't know, 10-7. And then I was looking at the list making my picks last night, and it came out to 11-6. And it actually could have been 13-4, but there's a couple games I was like, So I got 11-6. This is how I got it going. I think the Bears come out week 1. I think they're gonna blow them out. I think they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
wash the Titans. What Byron Scott say on Rich Eyes? He said that Michael Jordan saw them on the schedule. Was like, 50. That's why I believe that this is gonna be for the Bears. This is gonna be a nice weather day in Soldier Field first week in September. I think the Bears get an easy double-digit double on this. I think Caleb gonna throw like 250, 3 touchdowns. We're gonna be drinking the Kool-Aid very heavy after week 1. Week 2, I think they get knocked down to earth a little bit. National stage. CJ and them are a more established team. They made a lot of good offseason additions. Their defense is better. They got Joe Mixon on the offensive side, traded for Stephon Diggs. I think that they're going to beat the Bears. I think it'll be a close game, but I think it'll be something where they win kind of like by 10, something like that. Then they go on the road to Indianapolis. I think they beat them. I know Anthony Richardson had a decent start to the season last year. I like Anthony Richardson, but I'm not that high on him like everybody else is. I'm gonna go with the Bears in this one. The Bears come home 2 out of 3 games. I think they take another L to the Rams. I agree with all the points you guys just made. But I do believe that Sean McVay will outcoach Matt Eberflus. I think he'll call a good enough game that Matt Stafford, Cooper Cup, and Puka Nakua will win in a shootout. I think this will be a high-scoring game, but I think the Rams will get that done. Bears and Panthers. Panthers going to get washed. Thank you, Panthers, for basically giving us a rebuild stimulus package. Going to London, I think the Bears beat the Jaguars. Pretty. I won't say pretty easy. I think that'd be a good game. But at this point, I've got them at 4-2 heading into their bye. Then they go on the road, Washington against the Commanders. I think they win that one in the first matchup between Caleb and Jaden Daniels. I think they take an L in Arizona just because the mid-afternoon West Coast games,
Mm.
those are a little tricky. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. goes crazy on Jalen Johnson. You're gonna have to probably take a couple million off his contract. I believe off what Murder Marv might do to him. I think that the Cardinals win that one. I think the Bears come home. They beat the Patriots. Not worried about Drake May. This one I know Bang gonna be mad at me, but I got the Bears losing to the Packers. I'm not picking the Bears beat the Packers till they actually do it. I'm done doing that. I do it every year, and I end up looking stupid. So I am not picking the Bears to beat the Packers until they actually do it. So I got the Packers beating the Bears at home. I got the Bears beating the Vikings at home. I got the Bears beating the Lions in Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving in Detroit. Played well against Detroit. Probably should have swept them last year and even 2 years ago when they played on Thanksgiving. I was at that game. They beat them on Thanksgiving. That was a game that everybody thought Matt Nagy was going to get fired if he lost, but they ended up winning. I think they come home. I think they go on the road. I think they get smacked up by the Niners. I think the Niners made decent work out of them. I think Caleb has a rough game against that defense. Um, then they go on the road again. I think they beat the Vikings on Monday Night Football. I think they're going to sweep the Vikings. Come home. I think they sweep the Lions, beat the Lions again, and then I think they win against Seattle on Thursday Night Football at home day after Christmas. Then I think they lose the final game against Green Bay. But I say this: they lose because they don't play their starters because they already clinched the playoff spot. That's why I have them winning. I mean, losing week 18. But one thing that I'm worried about: 3 games in 10 days. That's a little concerning to me with that schedule. But that's how I got it. That's how I got them going 11-6. Bang, the floor is yours.
All right. So of course I got the Bears coming out the gate and defeating the Titans. And
Hit us with your record first.
It's about 12-5, 13 and
Okay.
4. There's a couple of games because of what you said as far as scheduling goes and those amount of games at in a certain amount of time that might hinder things. But I got 12-5, 13 and 4, and very confident in that. This is not me hot taking it or anything. I've been thinking about this since the end of the season when we figured out who was going to play what. So who was going to play who. So Titans. I think I won't say that's a pretty easy game, but coming out the gate, they should defeat that. I have a win there. The Texans, I do have them taking the L in a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout or the Texans win by 7. I think that's going to be a very close game to the end because I believe in the Bears defense. The Colts, I'm not an Anthony Richardson fan as of yet because I haven't really seen him play. And even when I did see him play, he got himself hurt. So he can't do that against this defense. So I have the Bears winning there along with the Rams. I do have the Bears defeating the Rams. They will be at home. It's a noon game. So that's something that you have to think about with the Rams as well. Normally playing on the West Coast 3:00 games. So I do have the Rams winning that one because also, like I said, I don't necessarily believe that the Rams are who a lot of people think they are, which is why Stafford wife was like, man, why you ain't retire now? And then, of course, the Panthers, they win that game. The Jaguars, I do think that game will be closer than people wanted to because of the timing and everything. So I have the Bears going into the bye week only losing one game. Commanders win. Cardinals, definitely a possibility because you have to factor in, man, they might mess around and just lose to a team they have no business losing to. And that could very well be the Cardinals. But defensively, I do not trust the Cardinals. And this is a game where it could be, when you look at the schedule outside of the Texans game and the London game, which is early for some, I believe that the Cardinals is really the second spotlight game in this because it will mess around and be America's game of the week, depending on who else is playing. So in that spotlight, Caleb is going to do his thing, and then the Patriots too. So, yes, it sounds a little bit too high, but I have the Bears losing one game before they lose to the Green Bay Packers. I have that game as an L2.
So you got them going, 8-1 before the Green
Yep.
Bay game? Okay.
Yes. And that's when things get a little bit weird and stuff because I do have them losing back to back to Green Bay and to the Vikings. I do have that. I do have them picking up the win against the Lions. I do have them losing against the Niners and then defeating the Vikings. And that second Lions game is the game where I'm unsure. The second Lions game. But I do have them right now. I do have them losing that game, but then defeating the Seahawks and Green Bay because honestly, I do believe that the last game of the year is going to determine who wins the division. I do think Green Bay is going to be.
You're not high on Detroit.
I'm not high on Detroit. I'm not high on them 2 years in a row trying to do all of those things. I'm very high on Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, especially how young that team was doing what they did the year before. So I do believe that the last game of the season will determine who makes the playoffs, and that's going to be the Sunday night game. Will not make the playoffs, who wins the division. And the Bears will win the division. And I don't think they're going to have a bye, but, it might be a chance that they be fighting for a bye if they're 13-4, 12-5. For right now, I have 12-5. That Lions game is the iffy game. Bear down.
You said win the division. That's a good. I forgot to ask that. I want to say they're gonna win the division. I think Green Bay is gonna win the division, and I think the Bears are gonna be a wild card. I'm with you, Bang. I'm not so on Detroit like that, but Mike, hit us with your record, whether it's division winner or wild card, and then go through your schedule.
Is it crazy to say that I need to see Jordan Love do that shit again too?
I'm with you on the same thing.
I gotta see. Like, if people say next year, like, oh, I need to see Caleb do that shit again. Fair enough.
But you know why I believe in Jordan Love?
Because he got LaFleur.
I think,
right. And I think that's why the games that y'all said, I'm like, okay, I'm thinking about it now. Like, okay, can our coach trick off a few games? just by doing dumb shit. Like the Arizona one, when you said, I'm like, no, but now I thought about it, I'm like, can I coach do something stupid? So I did have them like 11-6 and or 12-5, like Bang said, but it can be a 10-7 type of thing. I think we're coming as a wild card team. I still think somehow, some way, even though I'm not a huge Detroit person. Well, no, I think Green Bay might get it, but let's just run it down. The Titans, obviously, I think we'll win that game. I think he'll put on a show that game. We'll win probably like 30-13 or something like that. The Bears, Texans, like you said, I think it will be a shootout. I do believe it'll be a shootout. I do think we lose that game, but I think this is the game that Caleb really put people on notice. Football, it already runs everything, but the Caleb CJ Stroud thing will be a huge thing going forward, even though they're in different conferences. The Colts, I don't think like this is like Anthony Richardson got injured last year, so this is going to be like his rookie season again. So it gets, you know what I'm saying, feet under himself. The Rams game is the one that's another trick off game right there for me. You know what I'm saying? That's a trick off game. I'm not sure on that one. But it is at home. So, but like I said, I do like their corners. When we was talking before the show started, I do like their corners. So I might give the Rams that advantage right there. So I'm gonna say we take an L right there. So right now I have them 2-2. I have them 2-2, but here comes the run. The Bears are going to beat the Panthers. They're going to smack them. I think they're going to smack the Jaguars. I think they're going to smack them. I think they're going to smack the Commanders. And then the Cardinals game is, you know, saying that's the toss up, but that's the trick off, you know. But I still have them winning that game. And then the Patriots game, I think that's going to be the blowouts of all blowouts. I think I'm a firm believer. I don't believe in Drake May. I don't even think he's going to start. They already talking about what everyone said. Like he has a lot of learning to do. He might just need to sit. You know what I'm saying? Like let Jacoby Brissett just go out there. Like I just don't. If Drake May goes out there, he's throwing 4 picks. He's giving us 4 of them. So right now, what I have him at like 8-2, 7-2, something like that. So then this when it gets kind of a little rough. The Green Bay game, I believe Green Bay will win that at Chicago. The Vikings, I think we will win both games against them. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, it could be JJ, which I believe he's terrible too. Like, hear me out, man. Listen, can I get live?
Go ahead.
Hear me out. Anybody they think is a tall white boy with a strong arm, they think is Josh Allen. Yep. No, they are not.
Josh Allen was Josh Allen at the game.
Right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Will Levis is not him. JJ McCarthy is not him. Mac Jones, who never really had a strong arm, he's not him. Drake May, he's not. It's not going to work. Like it's funny that these guys could get in the league based off that, but if you say Lamar or somebody else, but that's a different story. I do believe we lose the Thanksgiving game on a trick off. It's going to be something stupid. The 49ers, we're going to get crushed. The Vikings Monday night game, that might be a trick off as well, but I think we win that one. Like I said, I think we beat the Vikings twice. We split with the Lions. We beat Seattle. And then the last game, that's the one that we just don't know. So I'm thinking more so 11-6 or 12-5.
Okay. Dante, the floor is yours. What's your record? Would it be division, wild card, and then go by game by game?
All right, first of all, let me say fuck the NFC North. We're going 12-5. We're gonna win the division.
Okay.
Can I say something? If we win a division and his numbers are high, is he MVP?
It's gonna take a lot for rookie.
So
if he wins the division and he has CJ Stroud, go ahead.
I'm gonna answer that question. I believe that he would be top 3. Mm-hmm. It's really just dependent on me. Quite honestly, it's really dependent on 2 quarterbacks. One we not sure about, and one we will always be sure about. No, 3, because the caveat here is a quarterback that I think all of us love is playing on the last place schedule and got the weakest schedule in the NFL. That's the Cincinnati Bengals. Right. That's the team.
Yeah, but he got to stay healthy.
No, I'm with you. But it's the weakest team it's the weakest schedule in the NFL. That's the wrong team to have that. Mm-hmm. Like if there's a team that should not have the weakest schedule in the NFL, but because of shit that happened, they got it. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll say this. I think the Cincinnati Bengals might not fuck around and lose no more than 2 games because of that schedule. And if that happens, Joe Burrow is MVP as long as he stays healthy. Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, because it's Patrick Mahomes, and Jordan Love, to me, are the 3 people that might fuck around and be in front
Jordan
of
Love.
Jordan Love got to do it again.
Because remember what I got. Remember, I have Green Bay and the Bears playing for the division title. If Green Bay does what people think that they can do, and if my schedule looks the way that it looks, where the Bears and Green Bay be playing each other at the end of the season, I mean, for the last game of the season for the division crown, yeah, he'd be in the MVP conversation.
Okay. I do think Caleb will be offensive rookie of the year, though.
But I'm putting my money on Joe Burrow because of that weak ass schedule.
Yeah, if Burrow can stay healthy, I'm with you. Go ahead, Dante.
Go ahead, Dante.
Yeah. They're gonna start off 3-0. I got them beating the Titans pretty handily. The Texans will be the first test, but I got them beating the Texans too in Houston. Sunday Night Football. That's Caleb's, just welcome to the league. America, I'm here type of game. The Colts, Anthony Richardson coming off of that. He tore his ACL, didn't
he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have high hopes for them this season. That Rams game, I got us losing that. That'll be our first loss of the season. But then I agree with Mike. I think we smacked the Rams. We smacked the Jaguars. I'm sorry, and we go into the bye 5-1. Come out of the bye, we beat Washington in DC. We lose to the Cardinals on the West Coast. We beat the shit out of the Patriots. We lose that first game to Green Bay, the one in Chicago. I think we bounce back with a victory against Minnesota that next week. I think we spoiled Thanksgiving in Detroit. We beat the Lions. We lose to the Niners. We get Caleb's real first test of adversity because we lose to the Niners and the Vikings back to back. But I think he bounces back. We sweep the Lions this year. He beats the Seahawks, and we end the season on a 3-game win streak, and he beats Green Bay in Green Bay to win the division.
Okay, I like that.
Paper on display, haters old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna.